Hey everybody, Sam Birch here, and today is another Model Railroad update. What I'm doing is showing you how I'm going to make these houses. I'll put a link up where I got them, but they're basically paper fold craft model houses. And with these, I'm going to show you how I make them, how to put them together. I got these offline. You can get bundle packs. They're pretty well priced. I printed all mine out on cardstock, as you can see, and they give great instructions how to scale your printouts so they are to the size you need. Since I'm doing HO, it's going to be 87% reduced down on print size, and I did measuring. That's part of the reason why I bought a plastic model house, so I could do a comparison so I don't screw up, because I'm not the world's best with a printer. But that's how it should look. Instructions are really easy, but it's basically just paper craft fold. If anyone's ever done pepper cure or anything like that, you'll get it right off the bat. It's not that hard. So some of the things I'm going to be using is some spray adhesive, super glue, a X-Acto knife, metal straight ruler, and some spare blades, and some styrene plastic sheets. That's so my house is a little bit more sturdy, because yeah, with cardstock it's going to be pretty sturdy, but with this it'll give it some more stability. And I'll go over some stuff on how I'm doing this. After, I'm going to do more videos of me putting this stuff together, but this is the only time I'm going to just do sort of like how I'm doing it and instructions. So I guess first thing to do is always cut your house out, cut your pieces. Make sure to keep them separated so you know what you're doing, but with these they're pretty blunt and it's not hard to match things up. If you get to the more complicated setups, you're gonna really definitely have to watch where you're putting your stuff so you don't get any parts mixed up. So other than that, I'm just going to jump into cutting this out first and getting it all set up. Alrighty, so with all said and done, I have all the pieces cut out. Make sure to fold the edges. Something I wanted to show for this part is you see the dotted lines. Don't cut through them, just lightly go over them. Don't cut through them, just lightly just go over with your knife. And make sure you do this on some parts like folds and corners for the houses, because that's where they need to bend, and that will make your model house more precise. If you don't do that, you're going to ruin the whole entire thing, and your house ain't gonna look so square. Use a ruler. Don't be afraid to take your time. You know, this is something you can't rush through unless you're a professional. I mean, I'm freehanding this because I've done paper craft so long that I've developed kind of what I call a hand at doing this. So it's like it's never been a problem. So like I said before, I'm going to use some plastic styrene, and I'm going to use it to reinforce the house itself. I think I needed to cut, yeah. Line didn't print so well on this one, so I got to sort of you'll have to watch out for this. Try to freehand fold it, but don't force it to fold, because it's better just to score it than sit there and force your hand onto it and try to make it look like it is. Always use a ruler. It's something I've learned, or you'll get waves, it won't look right. Fold it a couple good times before you set it so it's more flexible and it bends at the will that it needs to, instead of being, like I said before, instead of being forced to bend. It's going to you know, it'll set right. In the long run, it's going to sit right. That's all that really matters, is that this will set right. Like I said, sort of just work with it. Try to get to work. Don't off the bat just fold it until it loosens up. Don't fold it too much, because it will fall apart, and that will cause complications. in the near time future. Like I said, just sort of fold it, work with it. It'll set after a while. It'll sort of bend to your will. That didn't sound right, but you know, I think you all know what I'm saying by now. And just make sure everything sits right. So I mean, that's kind of what it's going to look like in the long run, but I haven't glued it or anything like that. So the next part I'm going to do is sort of measure for these parts, get them all set up, and you know, get some styrene behind them. That's where the spray adhesive will go through. But I'll put that on the next part. Hey everybody, I was just wanting to do a little bit of a quick look through what I did for the plastic styrene. As you can see, plastic styrene is glued onto the back of the house frame. I just did the frame, I didn't do the roof or anything like that. I might do the roof, but I just wanted to go over what I did. So what I did is I laid each part on here and sort of cut. I tried measuring out and cutting out for this piece, but as you can see, there's a little bit of a gap right there. But all I did was spray some glue onto the paper on the cardstock. Another reason why I did this with cardstock and not regular paper, due to the fact that it'd probably bleed and it'd probably warp a lot easier. Press on there, put some pressure. The spray adhesive actually does pretty good. It doesn't take long for it to bond, especially when you're doing paper and vinyls. And I did the same thing here. It'll give it more sturdy. It won't fold. It won't warp as easily. So what I'm going to do next is put it together and show it as a whole. Hey everybody, so here's the final build of the house. I gotta say it looks pretty good. I was a little concerned when I built this. I thought the doors were too big. Then I realized the double door. So that was close. So this is the build. I'll probably take some photos, do a 360 shot of it for the end of the video. But yeah, it wasn't hard. A few things I gotta do is touch up. I ended up using some of the spray glue and putting a base on it so this thing can stay square. And if whatnot, but yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm really loving it. A few parts I gotta touch up right up here where this part is on. I mean, other than that, I love it. If you're wondering if this is HO scale, here's a house I did in comparison. Now this one is a 2-story house, but you can see actually the house, this is an actual model and this is the paper model. Duh. But if you can take a look at it in comparison, I like this a lot better. Don't get me wrong, when I put this together, and I paid 22 bucks for this house right here, this plastic house, and it didn't come with many parts, it just came as is. So yeah, bam. There you go. So I'm gonna do some I'm gonna do a few shots of this just to give you guys a better look at it and some better lighting. So other than that, check it out. I know a little bit. One problem I have is I didn't square off the roof as well. Could have done that a little bit better, but I mean, really honestly, it's gonna be background. I'm probably gonna more likely have it sort of like this in the distance, so it's not gonna be too noticeable. I kind of want to show it off for as it is, but I love it. I got plenty of other builds I'm going to be doing in the near future, but yeah, I love it. I think it was a good investment to put in these paper craft models. I'd say if you got time and patience and skills, you can build something like this, and it's not bad, especially if you're trying to you know, start off on model trains. So there you go.